is not going to be your cream puff of a video. I am going to be so very honest. What's up, guys? Hello! Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chelsea. For those just now seeing my face, okay, all right. I know I've been gone for just a little bit, but we're back at it again. I'm not even gonna do no super long intro. Y'all can see from this title what is about to go down. I've been waiting to make this video pretty much since I moved to New Mexico. I have things to discuss. I have bullet points down here. I'm not even finna get too much into it. This is strictly, let me just say this before the video starts. If you are one of those people that get highly offended, please go ahead and exit stage left right now. If you can't take any constructive criticism, go ahead, exit stage left now. Anybody else who has like super pride in their state, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to go sit in the back just for a second. You're gonna go sit back there. We'll ask for your opinion a little bit later, okay? I'm gonna give y'all some time. Great. Okay, so this video is strictly for anybody who is about to move to New Mexico, who is thinking about moving to New Mexico, and even if you're coming to visit New Mexico, these are going to be some great tips, some pointers, and really a video that needed to be made because I know when I moved to New Mexico, I was one of those people that I went on YouTube and I was trying to, you know, see what was going on with New Mexico. And those of y'all who have researched, you have really only seen one person. I'm not going to throw this creator out there, but you probably only seen one person that's if you would catch my drift. And you know, although they give really good points, you know, really good, you know, tourist guidey type of stuff, it was not, in my experience, it was not even close to what I experienced, okay? So I'm gonna be giving my tips and tricks and my personal experiences moving here to New Mexico. Before we get into it, this is my experience, okay? So don't get in these comments saying, oh, I've never experienced that. I've lived here for 25 years and blah, blah, blah. I don't care, okay? I don't care. This is strictly my personal experience, all right? So let's go ahead. We're gonna start off light and then we're gonna move on down, okay? First off, the weather here. Now, granted, it is closer to the West Coast, so there is no humidity, which is really good. So for those of y'all that moved from any part of the South, and a few places that's going semi up north, that's really good. If you never experienced that, it is amazing. However, what people have not talked about, or no one warned me about at least, was the fact that New Mexico is in the high desert. I didn't even know what in God's name the high desert was until I moved here, because I'm thinking it's the desert, right? That's all it is, just super hot, sun beaming down. No. So be prepared for bipolar weather to the 5th degree, because it's not only going to be hot, you know, sun beaming down, desert-like, it's also going to be extremely cold at the randomest of times, because you know, like I said, here you can see the mountains. It's super pretty here. However, like I said, we are in the high desert, meaning that you're super close to the mountains, meaning that you're going to have the same elevation issues, also the same weather to Denver, Colorado. And if anybody that's been there, you get what I'm talking about. So it's going to be hot. It's gonna be freezing cold out of nowhere. It snows here, and not even a little bit of snow, like it actually really freaking snows here, which I did not know that, because if I would have known that tidbit of information, I would have never came. I'm just being honest with you. I don't do winter, but it's cool. I digress. But yes, it snows here. Apparently there's such things called a squall. I had to look that up. I didn't know what that was, because one day I got that on my phone and it was like squall warning. I never knew that was a thing, but apparently that happens here as well. There's also, depending on where you're at in New Mexico, they have wildfires that just, you know, spring up from the dust because of all the high winds. It's nuts, okay? So just be prepared for that, because I never know how to dress, and it's May when I'm making this video. It's May, and there have been several mornings that I've gone to work and I've had to run back inside and grab a jacket because it was freezing in May. It took it forever to even kind of get warm here, which was crazy to me, because it was like April and even the beginning of May, it was still freezing cold. Like you would still get like sleet. It was just dumb. So just FYI with that, just be prepared for that type of stuff. Like I said, if you're one of those people that you like winter, you like weather, this is going to be perfect for you. But to me, from my experience, I moved here in July, and it doesn't really get to like the summertime-ish weather until I'm gonna say around June or July-ish, okay? But from at least May down, like it's gonna be freezing, it's gonna be rainy, it's gonna do all the stuff. Basically, New Mexico gets all the weather, okay? So that's my tidbit on that. Next thing, which is what I'm experiencing right now, apparently in the springtime, two things happen, okay? Two things. One, the wind is disrespectful, okay? There's wind, there's dust. Those of you that have allergies, beware. This may not be a good state for you to come to. It's worse than like Coachella winds, I'll say that. It's similar, but I think it's a little bit worse than that. So it's like you can be outside minding your business and all of a sudden there's a gust of wind and it's like glasses don't even help because it'll get under your glasses, there's a bunch of dust and it'll mess with your eyeballs. Like it's insane. I've contemplated wearing goggles to work several days because of how bad the wind is. And I kind of work indoor outdoorish at my job. It was terrible. It got all in my hair. It's nuts. So if you're one of those people that you have allergies, please, for the love of God, if you have an option, this may not be a good place for you. Now, speaking of dust in the spring, there's also one other thing that I noticed recently is that apparently they have moths here. And I thought it was just New Mexico, and I found out that Denver is the reason why, Colorado in general is the reason why New Mexico has this swarm of moths that just appear during the spring. And that to me, listen, I'm not a bug type of bitch, you know what I mean? I don't do bugs. But that is a little overwhelming for me because right now I can't go on my patio in my apartment right now because there's so many moths. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know how to get rid of it. I never dealt with that in my life. And it's scary to me because every time I open up my door, I open it and there's like 10 of them just like coming out. It literally looks like a scene from The Birds when I open up my patio, and I don't like that. That's too overwhelming for me, and it's overwhelming for me and my homegirl, aka my cat. So we can't really handle that. So if you're one of those people, you don't do bugs, this may not be the state once again, because apparently that's a thing. I didn't even know that. I found that out, unfortunately, trying to open up my patio door the other day. All good, I guess. I don't know, but just letting you know that it's there. So cool. We touched on the weather. Now, cost of living, okay? So cost of living here is super cheap, very affordable. I found out that New Mexico is actually one of the poorer states in the country, which is kind of, well, it's not surprising now that I've been here, but if you would have asked me that before I moved here, I wouldn't have known that bit of information because I'm from Mississippi, so I thought Mississippi was just like the lowest of the low type of state, but I guess it gets lower here, and you'll see what I mean later on. So as far as cost of living, like I said, it's cheap. However, what's the best way to describe this? This is not a convenient city. New Mexico has a bunch of unused rural land that they don't know what to do with. So stuff is really spread out here. You have to come with a car. You have to come with a car. I cannot stress to you, you have to come with a car because they have public transportation here. Don't get me wrong. However, it really only pertains to like Albuquerque. If you're anywhere outside of Albuquerque, the public transportation is not going to be of any service to you. So you are going to have to get a car because everything is so damn spread out. So if you're also one of those people that you like to have an apartment, that even an apartment or a house that is convenient as far as walkable goes, then this is not going to be a good place for you to find that type of property because there is no such thing as that. Like, I stay in a decent part of Albuquerque. I'm like 15-20 minutes away from the airport. I'm not far from grocery stores. Like, I'm in a city type of atmosphere, but nothing is walkable, and that's even for me. Like, everything is still like 10-15 minutes away. It's convenient, but it's not like that type of luxury style walkable, like I can get to everything in like 5 minutes type of vibe. Next thing on my list when it comes to like cost of living and what it's like to live here, keep in mind that because this is a kind of rural country and industrial type of state, so it's not a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a lot of things to do. So everything shuts down by, I'm gonna say, because I wrote on here 10 p.m. but it's really 9, so I'm just letting you know that right now because that actually threw me off a little bit, I guess because I came from Atlanta and I was used to like some things still being open 24 hours. No, literally there is nothing open past 9 p.m. and 9 p.m. is pushing it. And that's not just restaurants, that's grocery stores, that's the gas station, all of it. So I've never been one of those people that I constantly like fill up my tank when it gets to half. Normally I'm that person that pushes it to the very, very limit with gas. But here, since I've moved here, I've had no choice but to fill up my tank when it gets to half or a little bit under full, because I get off work like close to 8 o'clock, and a lot of times I cannot find a gas station that's open, and that was really bizarre to me. But no, there is none that's open past that time. There's no restaurants past that time. Like, so if you're coming here to live or even flying into Albuquerque, just know if it gets around 7 o'clock, you might just get you a McDonald's burger and call it a night, because everything shuts down. The next thing I have on my list here is jobs. So my recommendation is please come to New Mexico with a job, because if you have to come here and search for a job, you are not going to be happy and you're not going to be making a bunch of money, because the jobs here pay very, very low for how the economy is right now. And I'm meaning low as in like they pay 12, 13, 14 an hour jobs, you know. And the apartments here, if you're going to live in an apartment or even a townhome or something like that, the apartments here have gone up in rent and to kind of pretty much what everybody else across the country is. However, like I said, their pay is still very low. So unless you want to stay in a very, very bad, and I mean like crackhead, opioid head type of area, you need to come with a job already, because if you're looking for a job here, you're going to be SOL with that, because it's going to pay really low and you're not going to be able to afford your rent or car notes or anything like that. Next thing I'm going to say, if you're one of those people that you have kids, if you're moving here with children, I would not move here with children. And the reason why I say that is because if you have children that need to go to school, I will say that. If you're one of those people that you have children that have to go to school, just know that, and this, I'm not making this up, New Mexico has the lowest, I think, if there's one more state, I think New Mexico, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, New Mexico has the lowest IQ as far as states-wise goes in the country. And their school system is terrible. I mean, it's not good at all. And I researched that on my own, but I also know people here that have children that have told me that as well. So the school system here is not great at all. So just keep that in mind. If you're one of those people that you care about school systems and, like, you know, being able to educate your children, New Mexico may not be a good spot, because like I said, they have the lowest IQ, and the people around here, I hate to be mean, but you can tell there's the lowest IQ in the country. It may not be the best choice. Like I said, if you have no choice, because this is a very big like military government type of state. So if you're one of those people that you have to come here because of you have a spouse or you are in the military, I understand that, but just keep that in mind. You might have to do a little bit more research with finding a school for your kids. One last little note when it comes to kids going to school here, just from my experience and what I've seen, if you have children who are of a darker complexion, rather they are fully black, rather they are mixed with black, rather they're mixed with anybody that has a darker hue, because it could be like somebody that's like Dominican, anything like that, anybody that has a darker hue, anybody that's from India has a darker skin tone. I'm just telling you right now, if your children have a darker skin tone, they may not have a good experience going to school here. And the reason why I say that is that there's not a lot of melanin in this state, okay? Like, I get it, I know it's New Mexico, y'all are thinking, oh, but it's a lot of Hispanics out here, which it is, but there's not a lot of darker skin toned people just across the board. So your kids may have a hard time fitting in. They may experience some degree of bullying. So I just want to throw that out there. Just keep that in mind for those of you that have mixed race children, or any black children, or like I said, any Dominican, any Indian people who are of Indian descent that have like a darker skin tone. Anybody with a darker skin tone, just keep that in mind, that your kids may have an issue, because as an adult I've had issues with that, but I will get into that a little bit later in the video. So the next thing that I have is the commute, because a lot of people want to know about the commute. Commute wise, there is no traffic. Well, traffic in the way that you and I are thinking, okay? Traffic here only happens on the interstate, typically in the morning or in the evening when people get off work, and it's not really traffic. Because here's the thing: New Mexico people that drive are hell-bent on following the driving rules to the T, which there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's an issue when you get on the interstate, because the interstate is, everybody knows that people get on there, they're trying to drive a little faster, they got to get to work, they got to get to wherever they're trying to go. That's the whole point of getting on the interstate, okay? And the traffic happens here in New Mexico when everybody gets on the interstate at one time and they all want to go the speed limit. And the posted speed limit on the interstate here is like 65, 70, okay? No, it's 70. I don't even think it's 70. It's like 65, 70-ish. We're just gonna go with that. But everyone does not go 70. They go like a little bit below. So I'm gonna say 65. So imagine if like 100 people got on there at one time and they're all going 65. That's what the traffic is in New Mexico. It's not real traffic. It's not like how it is in like LA and in Atlanta and even like Houston and Dallas. Like, you know, if you get on the interstate there, like it's traffic. Like it's a bunch of people. There's probably a wreck. Shit's on fire. Like it's a thing. It's not like that here. It's just a bunch of people that are all going the posted speed limit at the same time and are refusing to go faster than that. Cause see, that's where my issue comes into play, because I get it. If you want to go 70, that's fine, honey. But the interstate has 3 lanes for a reason. There's 3 lanes for a reason. There is no need for you to be in the fast lane, which is the far left lane, and you're gonna go 70 and below in that lane. Like I said, I get it. If you wanna go the speed limit, that's perfectly fine. But 9 times out of 10, I like to go 80, 85, and you're in my way. And then that's how wrecks really happen, because now people are trying to bob and weave out of traffic. So just keep that in mind. If you're one of those people that you like to drive a little bit faster, people will be shocked and they will honk at you, because I've also had people that have honked at me strictly for passing them with my signal on, which has thrown me off completely, because I can see if I cut you off, but I've had people literally, because I'm going faster than them, honk at me as if I'm about to kill everybody. But like I said, here in New Mexico, the whole vibe here is like super slow. We're super chill. We have nowhere to go. We're looking at the mountains. Like that is the vibe here. So it's like, if you're one of those city slickers like I am, like they're gonna be looking at you so crazy, okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, I'm gonna say this one last thing when it comes to driving. Those of you who have insurance, well, you should have car insurance if you're driving, make sure that your insurance covers windshields. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know if it's because of the mountains here. I'm not sure why, but flying rocks happen. And I mean, not even a little bit, like a lot of bit, flying rocks happen. I wasn't even here 2 weeks before a random rock hit my windshield. And mind you, there was no other car around. There was nothing around me at the time when this rock flew out of no fucking where. So just keep that in mind, because I thought it was just me, and talking to some other people that I've met here, they all said the same thing. Like they can't keep windshields here because rocks just fly from everywhere. Like I said, I think it's because of all the mountains and crap, and plus New Mexico barely has any grass. Like they just replace grass with rocks out here. So just FYI, make sure that you check your insurance and see if it covers windshields, and if it doesn't, please, for the love of God, add windshield to your insurance, because you are going to need it, rather that be to fix a crack or replace the whole windshield. Either way, you are going to need it. All right, so let's shift to things to do here in New Mexico. Now, we're starting to get to the part where things are about to get a little spicy, okay? So this is just from my personal opinion, what I've observed. Things to do in New Mexico, there's really not any. If I'm just being honest, there's nothing to do here other than things to do outdoors. If you're one of those people that you enjoy like hiking, there's really not much else to do other than that. I mean, there's like a couple of like art museums, and you know, the typical, like you got your zoo and planet and aquarium and all that other kind of crap. But like, as far as like unique things to do in New Mexico, there's literally nothing to do other than outdoor activities. Like I said, mostly just hiking, okay? Like going to like the sand dunes, that sort of thing. It's just hiking, outdoor activities. So if you're one of those people that like, you like to do other things, if you like to go out, like if you like to party or like go to lounges or bars, that's not a thing. Because you remember, keep in mind, I told y'all a little bit further back, everything shuts down at 9. Everything. Like, even if you go downtown, shit shuts down. I don't care. Listen, those people that are New Mexicans, don't come in my comments talking about oh, you can go downtown, and they have no, the fuck they don't. I went. There's nothing to do. Listen to me. There's nothing to do downtown. other than go look at that big ass transformer. There's nothing to do downtown. There's no lounges, there's no shopping, there's no nothing. So I'm just letting y'all know that right now. Do not let them people on YouTube lie to y'all. Even if you go to Santa Fe, there's nothing to do but tourist traps, and you could buy a bunch of turquoise stuff. That's really it. So if you're one of those people where you're like me and you like to go do things or explore things or even go to the movies, because they only have one AMC here in New Mexico and it's not good. It's like the AMC Classic. It's not even an up-to-date classic, okay? Like, so that's not a thing. Like, there's no, I mean, I've seen one bowling alley that gets overran because it's just one. So it's like, if you can find something, there's only one of it, and it's gonna always be busy because there's only one of it. So just keep that in mind. If you like, this is a great place for introverts. If you're an introvert and you don't like to do anything, this is perfect for you. But if you're one of those people that you come from a bigger city and you're used to multiple things to do on the weekends or with your friends, this is not gonna be a good place for that. And like I said, y'all can argue with me in the comments, but from what I've seen, honey, there is nothing to do. That also leads me into my next point. Restaurants and the food here is terrible. And I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had to find out the hard way that apparently there is a such thing as Mexican food and New Mexican food. And you wanna know how I found that out? Let's talk about it, because I came here, now mind you, when I moved to New Mexico, I did no research. I didn't know what the state was about. I came in fresh-eyed, didn't know nothing about it, brand new, right? So in my head, I'm thinking it's New Mexico, it's close to the border, like I should be getting some fire-ass Mexican food. And then I started going to these restaurants, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Because it was not good, it was unseasoned, it tasted terrible, and then they had the audacity to just throw chili on everything, like green, red chili, you know, having your Christmas whatever. It's trash regardless. And then that's when I found out that New Mexican food and Mexican food are two different things. Apparently New Mexican food, in my personal opinion, is watered down Mexican food. I have talked to people who are native indigenous people here who have also told me that yes, New Mexican food is pretty much like a whitewashed version of Mexican food. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So just letting you know, like, do not let people lie to you, because I have people at my job that I tell them that they're like, oh no, New Mexican food is great, what are you talking about? It's not. Honey, you're not used to seasoned things. That's what it boils down to. You are not used to seasoned things, because I will give my Latina brothers and sisters more credit than that, okay? I know they season their stuff. I know that for a fact, okay? So that's how I knew something was up when I got here and started tasting food and it was trash and it wasn't seasoned. Like I said, y'all just throw chili on everything and expect it to be good. That's not how that should work. So like I said, everybody has a difference of opinion. My personal opinion, it's trash. It's not good. But if you're one of those people that are used to not seasoned things and you think pepper is spicy, this is going to be great food for you, because you're like, oh, they throw chili on it, it's very, very good. It's not, honey. Salt, pepper, and chili does not work. That's not how that's supposed to work. First of all, I thought you're supposed to cook with chili, not just throw it on there like parsley. But you know what? I digress. I could rant and rave all day how much the food is absolutely terrible. Anyway, moving on. Next on the docket. This is where my controversial part of the video is going to happen, okay? Now, like I said, if you're one of those people who are easily offended, please stop peeking through the crack back there. I see you. Please leave still. You're not allowed in this. You're definitely not allowed in this section. And the people that was in the back who are just have super pride in their state, now is the time for you to leave as well. I'll wait. Cool. So this part is strictly about the people, the environment, the vibe, all of that here in New Mexico. Like I said, this is just my personal opinion, okay? So argue with your mama, not me, okay? Here's the deal. Since I've moved here, the very first thing you notice as a black person coming to New Mexico, there is no black people. There is none. And the little bit that is here is such a sprinkle and so far and few in between. And then but then again, you can tell that they're not used to having black people here, because honey, I have not seen one black salon here since I've been here, not to get braids, not to get nothing. Because at least, you know, in any state you go to, you're gonna find at least one African braid shop, right? I haven't seen it. And then there's only 2 hair stores for us. Just two, and they're not big hair stores. It's not a lot of selection in there. Like, I've only been, honestly, just to get crochet pick for my dreads and maybe some hair grease, but I've had more luck with going to Target or Walmart to find products for my hair. So just keep that in mind. If you're one of those people, like I said, if you are black, if you are Dominican, if you are mixed race, and you have, black, curly type of hair, this is not going to be a great place. YouTube is going to be your friend. Okay? YouTube's going to be your friend. And then add insult to injury, because there hasn't been a lot of people exposed to people of color here. I have become the main character, and not in a good way, because when I tell you I go into restaurants, grocery stores, doesn't matter, I get stares like no tomorrow, which is really bizarre to me because I grew up in Mississippi. So the fact that I am feeling some type of way like going into stores and stuff is really bizarre to me, because like I said, I've had my bouts with racism my whole life, but I guess the way that Southern people do their racism is still very kind of like subtle, and it's not like right in your face. Like you kind of got to think about it when people say stuff to you and do stuff. It doesn't hit you right away. I've heard from other people that I know that live on the West Coast that people on the West Coast are a lot more in your face with the racism, and I have experienced that here since day one. Like I get stares, I get like profiled, but it's been like that since I've moved here. So I'm just saying, like I said, that's just from my opinion. That's just from my experience. I have the people in Mexico have not been very friendly. The only people that I've run into that have been friendly are not from this state. But I just wanted to bring that up because, like I said, I feel like it wouldn't just be if you are black. I think if you are just, like I said, of mixed race, if you are from India and you have a darker skin complexion, you know what I mean, that type of thing. Because, and then that's another thing I'm bringing up with that too, is that there's not a lot of diversity here, and it's really bizarre because you would think that it's New Mexico, but I think because nobody really thinks about New Mexico, like this is one of those states that not many people think about and not many people come to visit. If I'm just being honest, like nobody really comes here like that. So none of us really, I think nobody really knew that this is what the vibe was here, and it's really gentrified. Like, I mean, very gentrified. It's really bizarre. Like I said, because you get off the plane here or you come here, all you're gonna see is white people. That's all you're gonna see. And it's like, what the heck? Because it's like you'll see indigenous statues, you'll see like Hispanic culture, like it's like you'll see it. It's kind of like I see my people, but I don't see my people. Does that make sense? Because it's like you see all of these little like cultural figures and features, but you don't see the people, which is really bizarre to me. And it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's giving weird Get Out vibes, and I don't like that. Like I said, y'all can correct me in these comments and tell me where is the culture, but I have not seen it. And it's really weird, but you can tell just from an outsider standpoint that the culture has been lost here, and if it is still here, it's in tight-knit communities that is not being shared anymore. It's just not. Because I went to, the last video that I made was me going to the Gathering of Nations. I went to the Gathering of Nations event, and the only reason why I found that out was because I work at the airport, and a person that I work with that has been there for years brought up the fact that, oh, we're going to be a little busy next week because of that event. And mind you, it wasn't advertised anywhere. I never saw it. I never heard of it. Like, there was no form of advertisement for this event at all. Like, and I'm telling you this, like I said, this is strictly coming from a stranger, not somebody that's native to here. There was no advertisement for this event, like, especially because as much as I saw y'all advertise for them for that damn hot air balloon festival, I know y'all got an advertisement budget, so there was none for this. So it was like that sort of thing, like especially with New Mexico having such a big like indigenous population, that should have been front and center. Like, that's the type of stuff, if I was coming to New Mexico, that I should have been bombarded with. Here's this event, here's this museum, like here's whatever, and none of that exists. None of that exists. Like I said, those of y'all who are watching this that are native to New Mexico, I'm sorry to bust your bubble with that, but it does not exist. The culture that you think New Mexico has does not exist, okay? If it does, it's never advertised enough for people to be able to come and learn more about it and explore it. So like I said, that's been my personal beef with New Mexico, is that I don't understand how I'm here and I don't, like I said, I'm not being able to find the information that I want to have to explore the culture, because I'm one of those people that I love new cultures. I love to explore them and learn more about them. And it's been very difficult for me to do that. I mean, very difficult. Like I said, even just on the basis of finding like, just like a good like area where I know it's like nothing but like my Latina brothers and sisters, like it doesn't exist, and I'm so sorry. Like I said, that's been bothering me since I've been here. On top of there not being any other minorities here, like it's hard to find a Chinese restaurant here. It's hard to find Indian food here. Like there's no diversity period other than chili. Like, you just gotta go to New Mexican food and just get chili. Like, there's nothing else to do. Like, I had to search high and low just to find a hibachi place, y'all. Like, it's that sort of little nuances. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that sort of stuff. So it's like, I don't know, New Mexico really got to work on that, because it's like, for you to be so prideful in the land of enrichment and all that kind of shit, like, you have done a terrible job trying to advertise that to people from the outside coming into your state. Because like I said, the only thing that I heard of when I first come in here was go to the balloon festival, go to Balloon Fiesta, blah, 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 blah. Like, girl, nobody wants to see no goddamn balloons. I'm sorry, nobody wants to see that. Like, other than small children and old people, nobody wants to see that. Like, what else? Because like I said, I was one of those people that I wanted to come in and wanted to learn more about the state. I wanted to learn more about the, like I said, the actual culture here. And I went to the museums, and it's nothing. It's art museums, and that's it. There's no like, this is how it started. This is the tribes. Like, it's, anyway, I could rant about this for days. However, like I said, the people that are native here in New Mexico are not friendly, and they are not used to any minority of people, and I would just leave that at that. Okay, I hope this video was at least helpful. I wanted to make an honest review of this state and not just sugarcoat things with you guys. Like I said, y'all can go and watch other people talk about New Mexico if you want the butterflies and rainbows covered version. This was going to be a real ass video from the jump. Okay, so I like I said, I hope that this made sense to some people, that you enjoyed it, that you understand it, and that you kind of would take my words of caution into perspective before you move out here. And like I said, if anybody that is from New Mexico, that you happen to stumble upon this video and you're upset and you're really offended and you want to say, oh, you should go here, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, honey. I love to have a discussion. Just to throw that out there, I'm not gonna respond to you if you're like, oh girl, you haven't been looking for culture's all around there. No, you're lying, because I have been looking for it. I have not seen it. So anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video because everything is dying. So as always, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I am going to see you guys later.